This is Nerdy Dan launching my new exclusive video series for One Wrestling Video, Think Outside the Ring. And this is why you can't name wrestling's Mount Rushmore. Now, there are a lot of people online who try and come up with their own wrestling's Mount Rushmore. And if your list is going to be complete of 4 people, you have to include 2. One of them being Hulk Hogan, and one of them being the Nature Boy Ric Flair. Without those 2, your lists are wrong. I'm sorry, but you can't have it any other way. Your lists are wrong if they don't have those. But then, how do you name another 2? I don't know. There's so many to pick from, and that's why I don't think you can name wrestling's Mount Rushmore. First and foremost, The Rock. He broke into Hollywood. He's become mainstream, but he elevated wrestling up to where it is today. So clearly you can't exclude The Rock, and most lists have The Rock. What about Stone Cold Steve Austin? They still have what chance on SmackDown? On Raw? You'll hear them. His wrestling persona has transcended his wrestling career and lives on. The Undertaker. How could you have a Mount Rushmore without somebody as iconic as The Undertaker? I don't think you can. Bret the Hitman Hart, the best there is, the best there was, the best there ever will be. How can he be excluded from wrestling's Mount Rushmore? John Cena. You might not be able to see him on Mount Rushmore, but doesn't he belong up there anyway? Brock Lesnar's career has been shorter than a lot of those because of his career at the UFC. But doesn't he still belong up there? He's iconic. 2-time Hall of Famer Shawn Michaels. Why wouldn't he be up there? Along with Triple H. How about 2-time WWE Hall of Famer Booker T? From his career at WCW to his career at WWE, King Booker clearly belongs up there, doesn't he? Chris Jericho has reinvented himself more times than I can count, and he has had such a huge impact on the world of professional wrestling. How could you leave him off the list? Bill Goldberg, doesn't he belong on the list? He was one of the reasons why the WCW beat the WWE in the Monday Night Wars for many weeks straight. I mean, it's not just the NWO. It was Bill Goldberg, Roddy Piper. How could you not have Roddy Piper on the list? Jerry the King Lawler, Bruno Sammartino, Kurt Angle, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall. If you're going to recognize Bill Goldberg for what he did to help WCW get better ratings than the WWE, then how could you leave out Kevin Nash or Scott Hall? But why just look at the men? Many Mount Rushmore lists that I've seen exclude women who helped make wrestling what it is today. You got the Fabulous Moolah, Alundra Blaze, Lita, Trish Stratus, former Intercontinental Champion and 8th Wonder of the World, Chyna. What about Charlotte Flair? When she surpasses her father and gets her 17th championship, won't that be one more justification to put her on wrestling's Mount Rushmore? And if you're making pro wrestling Mount Rushmore, does it just have to be people who are purely wrestlers? If you're including more people than just wrestlers, wouldn't Vince McMahon have to be on that list for how he changed the business? You could even make the argument that One Wrestling Video's own Bill Apter belongs on Mount Rushmore. Talk to any professional wrestler, and they'll tell you that his introduction of Jerry the King Lawler to Andy Kaufman thrust the world of wrestling into pop culture. But even if you are only including wrestlers, there's one name that's often glaringly vacant on many people's Mount Rushmore: Andre the Giant. Now, The Undertaker put Andre on his list. But do you know who's missing from The Undertaker's list? The Undertaker. And what wrestler is going to name himself? And since Mount Rushmore is an American monument, it's not surprising to see that most lists include people who are icons in American wrestling federations. Open it up internationally, and the ability for you to name your top 4 is even more murky. So what do you think? Do you disagree? Can you name a clear top 4? Did I leave anybody off this list? Leave your comments below, and remember to like the video and subscribe here at One Wrestling Video. And you can find me online anywhere. Just go to nerdydan.com to find all of my social media links. This has been Nerdy Dan with Run Wrestling Video, reminding you to always think outside the ring.